So you watch sailing YouTube channels. Maybe there was a sailboat in your childhood. The kids are off to college and living their own lives, and retirement is coming up, and you want a piece of the sailing paradise you see in all the videos and the pictures online. This week on Everything You Need to Know, we're going to look at some potential boats for you, and we're going to talk about how to retire sailing. Now, I talk to a lot of you guys who are looking to retire on a sailboat, or at least retire with one to sail 6 months out of the year. But the struggle is, how in the world do you get any experience before you buy the boat? Or do you just buy it and figure it out as you go? I'm going to lead today with my point, so you don't have to listen to me babble any longer than necessary. We will be looking at a boat at the end of this video because I found a genuine hidden gem that's on the market right now. But it's the chicken or the egg. Maybe you have all the ASA classes already and you want some practical experience, or maybe you just want to jump into sailing and do it all before you commit to actually the whole thing by buying a boat. How in the world do you get experience? It's actually a really cool time of year right now to ask that question, because there are a lot of boats moving around the world at this moment. But I always say first, the best way to get experience is, of course, to crew in racing. And let me say that first because it's important. Joining a local yacht club as a crewing member and being willing to show up once every week, every single week, reliably, will get you on a race boat. And as a race captain myself, I can tell you firsthand, I hate having to train a brand new crew every week. So if the same couple of guys is going to show up every single week, that's like gold to me. You keep showing up, you keep learning, we keep getting better, and that's what wins races. So if you can commit to a schedule like that, go join a yacht club as a crew member and get your butt out there on the race course, and you'll quickly become a pretty incredible sailor. Okay, so that said, what if what you want is actually some real world experience and you can also commit to helping someone for, say, a week or maybe a month? You want to get on a bona fide cruising boat and get some real cruising miles. Maybe your insurance company wants you to have miles too. You want to do things like sleep under the stars. You want to do some ICW miles, some outside ocean hops, and maybe practice pulling up to fuel docks, launching the dinghy, taking watch on a night shift, or checking into new countries. You want to really, truly live on a cruising boat and do that cruising life before you buy your boat. So how in the world do you do that? Before we get too far, I have a second YouTube channel I'd love for you guys to check out. It's called History, and it's all about maritime history. If you like it, I'd love it if you'd subscribe and give me a thumbs up on a couple of those videos. I'll leave a link. Back to getting some cruising miles. If only there were a place, say, on the internet where the captains who need help right now could go and ask for it, and then people like you with some free time could volunteer to help them. A place that sort of amalgamated all the help wanted and help available. Wouldn't that be just what you're looking for? Well, of course there is such a place, but some of you aren't gonna like it. When captains need crew and people like you are looking to get some miles under their belt, there really is only one place, one medium that lends itself well to that sort of an exchange between people. And don't close this video when I say this, but it's Facebook. Are you still here? I wish it weren't on Facebook. I wish it were in the Cruisers forum or something like that, but it just doesn't work that well in that sort of a forum medium. It works very, very well on Facebook, and as the world does, it takes the path of least resistance, and thus, it's all kind of on Facebook. So, if you need to, create a dummy Facebook account if you have to go that route. Don't use any personal information if you hate Facebook. Don't even use your real email address. Go to Gmail and make a fake one. It's free. Get on Facebook, and in the search field at the top, type in Sailboat Crew Finder. There are tons and tons of crew finder Facebook groups that you can scroll through, and you can see all the posts in there from the captains looking for people like you all over the world, like Australia, New Zealand, the East Coast, the West Coast, the Caribbean. And then there's also going to be posts for people like you looking for captains. This is happening all over the world all the time. And I noticed myself that there wasn't a specific Facebook group for crew finding only on the East Coast. So to help, I made one. It's called Lady K Sailing East Coast Crew Finder, and you can join it. If you're a captain on the East Coast and you need some help, post a picture of your boat in there and explain what help you're looking for. Maybe you're about to make the hop from Miami to the Bahamas. Maybe you need help in the Bahamas. Whatever it is, go and post that. Also, if you're a person on the East Coast that's looking to crew, get some miles, get some experience, post that too. Now, I don't make any money or anything off having or maintaining this group, but I think it's something we needed, so it's worth doing. I'd love to see as many people as possible go and join up on that Facebook group, because it only really works if a lot of us use it. I'll leave a link at the bottom, and I've used this method twice to find help on my own boat, and both times I got really good people to come and help me sail up the East Coast. So we have to give back. The typical way it works is this. A captain will post what they need help with for how long and what sleeping accommodations that you can expect on their boat. The person who wants to get help will be responsible to get themselves to the boat and home from the boat. They're not going to be paid in any way for their help. Your payment is the experience. You'll pay for your own food and whatever else you need. Also, as the would-be crew, you'll want to check into the captain in question. Have a video call with them if you can. Watch their YouTube channel if they have one. Make sure you're going to vibe well with that person. Ask questions to figure out what sort of sailor they are. Are they conservative sailing, where you're going to avoid going out in over 25 knots of wind? Or are they daredevil sailing, maybe? Find somebody that suits you. Make sure that you're going to have a good, comfortable, and safe experience before you buy the plane ticket. Now's the time where you should probably leave a comment on this video. Tell me about your experience crewing for someone else, or as a captain, your experience flying crew in, having people you don't know on your boat. My experience is really good. Or leave a comment and tell me how much you hate Facebook. Tell me anything, really. It's all engagement, and YouTubers get lonely. If you're trying to be crew on the East Coast, maybe we can make the Lady K East Coast Crew Finder the go-to spot, and then the problem won't exist anymore. As always, this channel is about doing just that, getting more people sailing more easily. That's the point of these videos, and I certainly couldn't make them without the support of the patrons. These are people who give a couple of bucks an episode to make all this stuff possible. A big shout out to all the existing patrons who have gotten us this far. If you'd like to help out, please consider becoming a patron. Okay, let's take a look at this boat. I'm very excited about it, I'm sorry. I saw this boat the other day while I was consulting with somebody on a different boat, and I thought, wow, now that would work for a lot of people. This is a 2000 Beneteau 461. It's the big girl in the family of 40-something foot Bennies. And we can tell by way of the jerry cans on the deck that she's already done some exploring. But wait, Tim, you might be thinking, this is a 46-foot cruiser for just $112,000 US. What gives? She is, but she's the 3-cabin layout, so the less desirable model. But at this price point, let's see what she has to offer. We get the 461 super high combing cockpit that's very, very hard to fall out of at sea. This is a safe boat with some blue lights installed, reminiscent of the early 2000s when this boat was made and the first Fast and Furious movie was in theaters. We get 2 coffee mugs here and a yellow pillow that says beach. We get a clean looking and mostly factory stock Beneteau 461, which weighs some 21,000 pounds, so it's plenty for any Caribbean cruising we might think of doing. On deck, we spot a life raft, which, if it's serviceable, is a nice-to-have thing, although sort of unnecessary unless we're going to do some huge offshore passages. Off the back, we spot some sort of low-rent davits, but it's a good place to get the rib out of the water nonetheless, and a couple of smaller solar panels off the bimini. I would have gone with an arch on a big boat like this. I mean, Why not? She's a big, heavy girl, and she could surely sport a really big arch to hold the dinghy much higher up out of the water, and at least 800 watts of solar up there, and maybe a wind jenny. The 461, of course, gives us a nice sugar scoop for the dog to hang out on, and a walk-through transom behind the giant wheel, and a big, roomy cockpit. We have a locker here for some junk, as we can see in the picture, and then here's the locker with the lid closed. This is a nice boat, despite the duct tape over the hole where the solar vent used to be. It looks like a very nice place to be on long passages. We get nice looking white-faced gauges and some newer B&G screens and dials, as well as a very handsome B&G plotter to mount next to our iPad. Inside, we go to the meat of the price of this boat, the split rear cabins. It would be much nicer to have the queen-size back bedroom, but if you want 3 cabins for whatever reason, you really should go see this boat. And here's where you'll be sleeping anyway, up in the bow in this very nice island bed. This is just beautiful, and I'm starting to get the impression that these folks really love the beach. Here's a shot of the very humdrum kitchen faucets that could be replaced with something fancier. A nav desk without a scratch on it, and a dinner table set up beautifully with more cushions and some glass water containers that definitely shouldn't be on a sailboat. Here's a shot of the number plate they had made for this boat, and another shot of that beautiful V-berth island bed, albeit this time with a different pillow, something the ordinary. Now, I know I mock this boat, but I genuinely do it out of love and affection. I love this boat. The 461 is an incredible boat to go cruising on. It's huge and it's heavy, and it's so wonderful to see somebody show a boat so well staged and clean and beautiful. That's not normal on Yacht World. Everything in these pictures is wonderful, and the boat is wonderful too, and I feel like the owners are wonderful people. I do, of course, have questions like, what are these things? Why is there a bilge pump in the refrigerator? And I'm sure I have a lot more questions. I look at boats a lot when I do consults with people, and it's my job to ask these questions. So sorry, not sorry. If you need help buying a boat and want to book an hour of my time, head over to ladyksailling.com/consults. Someone will buy this Beneteau 461, and they'll buy it quickly. So if you want it, go get it. It's going to be gone soon. Just like me, because that's the end of this video. Don't forget to leave a comment below and say hi. And until next week, keep the heavy side down, but not too far down. I love you guys. Bye.